Welcome to Child Development 155. In this video, I am going to take you through pertinent information relating to the class structure on Canvas, some important policies that are important for you to know, and just overall the most important information that you need to be successful in this class. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen with what we will be looking like online. Um, in this video, I'm going to attempt to keep it about 10 to 15 minutes. And so I am not going to take you through every single part of the course. Instead, I am going to allow you to read the syllabus on your own terms, and I'm just going to take you through this class. All right, so once you're online, you should be seeing on your screen the Child Development 155 course. The first module is, this is the first time that we actually have been teaching this class in an 8-week format. I've been teaching it for many years now, and it's always been a 16-week class that was offered in the spring. And the 150 class was offered 16 weeks in the fall, and it's been that way for quite a while. We decided to try something new this year, and we're offering them both within the fall semester. So 8 weeks of 150, and then we immediately go into 8 weeks of 155. So this is kind of a new experiment. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the spring semester, if it'll only be offered once a year, if it'll be offered every year. That's just what's happening this year. And as I learn more information from Palomar, I will let you guys know. But that's just kind of how we're going to be formatting it. For the most part, the class will be the same as the 16-week. The one caveat is that some of my video lectures that I've already previously recorded, I talk about things that maybe won't, at the very end, that won't be pertinent to you. Like I'll be like, hey, this week you're going to have a discussion board. It might not be that discussion board. So the very last part of every lecture, if I'm talking about a specific assignment, that might not always be the thing that's actually going to happen this semester, as I have to kind of move things around and change everything in order to get it into like a condensed, smaller 8-week format. So the most important thing is that you check out what's online, what is online versus what I'm saying in the video lectures at the end is more the truth of what's actually happening. So I'm going to just take you through this semester. So this is our first module. It's the welcome start here. And within this welcome video, this welcome module is this video and our syllabus. The syllabus you're going to read on your own. In order to keep this video a little bit shorter, I am going to allow you to read it on your own. I'm only going to draw out the more important aspects like late policy and things like that. The course objectives, the things that we're going to be learning, information about disability accommodations, tutoring, the course content, things like that are in the syllabus, and you will read that on your own time as part of this class. I also have our office hour schedule. A great thing that has just happened over the summer is we're getting a lot more office hours. So I have office hours every Monday and every Friday morning. Monday from 9 to 11 and Friday from 10 to 11. If there's ever a change in the schedule, like I know that I have a big meeting coming up that I have to go to in San Diego on one Monday and then another Friday that I have something else, I will put that in our weekly announcements. So each week I will send you out an announcement. It will go to your email and it'll also be on the front page of this course. And it will just tell you exactly what's happening for that week. This week we're learning about these are the things you need to do. And if my office hours change or any kind of information about the course, that will also be in that weekly announcements. They always go out Monday morning. They're very helpful. They literally have a to-do list of what you need to accomplish that week in order to be successful in the class. So office hours, Mondays and Fridays, unless I tell you any differently, they're Monday and Friday mornings. It's a Zoom. You just drop in. You're in a waiting room until I'm done with the student in front of you, or you just pop straight in, we chat, and then you go about your day. If that time doesn't work for you and you'd like to meet, you can always email me and we can come up with a time that meets for both of us. I've also included our child development success guide. That's a great for our child development department. It's a document that we created that just has lots of tips, hints, suggestions, things that you might need to do or need to know in order to be successful in child development, because we involve a lot of like public agencies, like public school districts, nonprofits, state-funded programs, Title 22, Title 5, all of those types of things. So we try to clear up some of the confusion and also allow you and try to give you tips and hints to be successful in this department. I've also linked all of our support services. So if you needed tutoring, if you needed to go to our pantry, if you needed help with basic needs, if you're struggling with your computer, all of those are linked in this student support page that I have right here for you guys. This module will always be here. It'll always look exactly like this, and it will have all of the information. So anything bigger in the class that you need, go to the very first module. The welcome start here. This video will be here. The syllabus will be there. The office hour schedule will be there. The success guide will be there. And if you need any student support services, the links are right there so you can get straight to it as well. One of the larger assignments that we have is a observation and interview, and I'm going to go over that in a little bit. But just mark on your calendars; it will be due in 8 weeks on December 16th. I will circle back at the very end of this video and cover it a little bit more. Each week, though, I'd like to kind of show you how everything's going to be. There'll be 2, maybe sometimes 3, but typically it's 1 to 2 assignments every single week that you need to do. So in this case, I have an introductory post. I just want to get to know you guys a little bit more and for you to know the people who are in your class. Then there is a page of information and understanding, a lecture video, and some resources on theories of management and supervision. Then you're going to do a little policy on communication skills. Then you're going to do a leadership for mission statement. So that's an example of the first week. Second week looks very similar as well. I've got some information on reflective supervision in 2 different pages. They all have links, videos, important course content for you to look at every week. Then there'll be 2 different assignments, team building and behavior. And then I have some other resources. Throughout this class, I try to link as many resources, PDFs, readings, anything that's going to help you be successful as a leader, manager within the ECE field. If I ever come across conferences that are happening, additional learning, things that you might need to know, like about our new credential that's kind of been happening this last year, if that's newer, I will put that in an announcement every Monday. Once again, you get an announcement telling you what we're going to be learning this week, telling you exactly what to do as far as assignments. And if I ever come across anything like professional development, the workshops, anything like that that's fairly new, I also put that in an announcement. But each week I try to give you course content, videos, resources. I link to PDFs and readings for you guys as well. And then you'll have 1 to 2 assignments every week as well. The most important thing about this class is you need to be online every single week and you need to be completing your assignments every single week as well. It's very standard to any other child development class in that respect, and that you can't do all of the work at the very end. You can't do all the work at the very beginning either. So each week I am releasing new information. As you learn about that, then you go on to the next week, learn more information and build upon that. This is very much geared towards you as professionals in the field. Almost all of you are working in the field right now, have some years of teaching behind you. So this is all about administration management, right? Because this is 155. Previously, I taught 150 this semester. Both of those allow you to teach, be a director, be an assistant director, apply for your site supervisor permit. You need both of those in order to administer or manage any kind of ECE program in the state of California. So that's what we're really, really tailored at. So the most important thing is that I do not accept late work in this class without prior approval. So if you're having a really hard week, you had to do a bunch of ECHRs and class and quality preschool came out and your kid got sick and you had to take your dog to that's totally fine. I completely understand that. Just let me know, hey, I'm having a really hard time. Is it okay if I'm a little bit late? I'll be like, absolutely. Or you get COVID or you break your leg or your kid has the flu. I totally understand that. Just giving me a heads up is very helpful. And then I can allow you to have like an extension or be a little bit late on something. What is not okay is not logging on, not doing anything for a month, and then coming in, submitting 5 things without having any kind of conversation with me. In those particular cases, I probably won't accept the late work. And if I do, it'll be for like half the points at the very, very most. So you need to be on every single week. You need to be accessing the course content that I have already pre-recorded, linked, put everything together for you guys already. You need to be on. The best thing for busy professionals is to pick a day of the week. Could be Saturday, it could be Sunday, it could be Monday mornings. I don't really care. This is an asynchronous class, meaning that you can log on whenever you want and do the work whenever you want. It just has to be on a weekly basis. Once again, I don't necessarily accept late work without prior of approval. If you are consistently late, we will also have a conversation about what kind of student support services you need, and also if I might not continue to accept your late work if it's always completely late. Check my syllabus for more information about that as well. So that's just week 1 and week 2. Each week will look generally like that. We'll have new course content, you'll have new assignments, and it will be that way for 8 weeks. So for the next 8 weeks, you need to plan on having a day at a time that you are regularly getting into Canvas so that you can access that course content, watch the videos, do the readings, and then also submit the work every week by Monday morning. If you are a busy professional who is not necessarily going to be online from Monday to Friday, and you're going to be doing the weekly assignments, once again, there's at least two weekly assignments every single week. If you're going to be doing that on a Saturday or Sunday, please log on earlier in the actual week and take a look. So for example, when we're in week 2, take a look at team building and professional behavior policy. Take a look at it. If it looks good, come back on a Saturday or Sunday. If you have questions, though, you're going to want to email me between Monday and Friday. I'm not a bot. I'm a real life human being who has 25 years of experience and a master's degree within this field. So I'm your subject matter expert. I've tried to put together an engaging, fast-paced class for you guys to learn more about administration and management. Since I am a real life human being, I work Monday through Friday. I check my emails in the morning and in the afternoon. And I am busy grading and teaching my other classes throughout the week as well. I do not check my emails on Mondays. I do not check my emails on Saturdays and Sundays, so I am not available during the weekend. I am only available business hours, Monday through Friday. I'm also not available during any kind of federal holidays or when the campus is closed, like Thanksgiving week. So if you know that you're going to primarily be working Saturdays and Sundays, taking a look at what is actually going on before the week closes, so that if you have questions, I can answer them, but before Friday afternoon. That's just generally how the class is going to look. Once again, the welcome module will always be there. It'll always have the syllabus that you should be reading on your own, this welcome video, and then each week we'll have different course content. So like the first week is reflective supervision, the second week is organizational management. We'll go over facilities, we'll go over money, all that type of stuff. So each week the course content is different, but the structure is very much the same. I give you course content, you do a weekly assignment, it's due by Monday, and then we open up another week and we start again. Very fast paced, getting us till December when your only kind of larger assignment is due, and that is an observation and an interview. You're here because you probably know a bit about child development. You've taken at least 100 and 115, but more than likely you've taken many classes in child development. You should be fairly aware about what an observation is. In this case, it's not an observation of teachers or children. It is an observation of the program, the director, the management. So take off that teacher's hat, take off the interactions, take off the environment, take off, how the kids' challenging behaviors, how the kids are acting, stuff like that. You are going to a program to observe how they run. How are they administered? Is it running well? Do parents know what to do? Are teachers where they're supposed to? Are they in ratio? Is there adequate supervision of the kids? All of those types of things. So what I'd like you guys to do is choose one place that you're going to observe, and it can be right here. So it can be an infant, toddler, or preschool, or school age, or FCC. FCC is our family childcare. So just one place. Those are the 4 categories we have. It can be any of those categories. So you could go to your neighbor's FCC if she runs a family childcare. You could go to a straight infant and toddler program. You could go to a preschool. You could go to a school age, or sometimes our programs have all of those. The place where you're going to observe an interview has to be licensed, or if it's on Camp Pendleton, it has to be part of the military installation. You can't just roll in somewhere. You got to call to somebody you know who teaches at another school or is a director somewhere at a YMCA, a Boys and Girls Club, your neighbor next door, a school district, something like that. And you need to get prior approval to come by and conduct a short observation of a classroom. And then you're also going to interview the director, principal, assistant director, somebody who has administration and management role within that program. So they don't necessarily have to have the title director. It could be the program director, site supervisor, principal, something like that. So you're going to observe and take notes describing the physical environment and the classroom procedures, kind of what happens within those within that interview. I'm sorry, within that observation. So you're just going to go into one of the classrooms and you're going to just observe how the day goes. Once again, you're not looking at interactions, you're not looking at challenging behaviors. You're looking at, are they in ratio? How is the program going? Is the environment supporting the children? What is important for an administrator and a manager to be observing in a classroom, not a teacher? You're taking off that teacher hat, putting on that director hat. And then please don't use any real names. You can use a pseudonym. You can call the director, or you can give her a fake name. I don't need to necessarily know exactly who that is. We want to maintain some confidentiality. There we go. And then you're going to also do a 10 to 15-minute interview with that person as well. We are all busy professionals, so if it makes more sense to break it up, you could. So you could do the interview you could do the observation one morning, one afternoon, and then come back and do the interview, or you could do the interview with the director over Zoom, over phone. That doesn't matter. Sometimes people don't have an hour to 2 hours to give you, and the interview shouldn't be that long. But if we think about the observation and then the interview, that could be a longer process. So if the school is really busy and doesn't have the time, you could just stay for the observation, observe the program, analyze what's going on in the classroom, making sure that we have some good management behind everything that's keeping that classroom running really well. And then at another time on Zoom or by phone, do an interview with the director, site supervisor, whoever has a management role. Then at the very end, you're going to do this, and this is the actual assignment, and this is where you're going to kind of analyze it. So in the first part, you're going to describe, so what happened during the observation period, give me the physical setting, give me the schedule and routine, how the teachers and children respond to ratio, supervision, environment, schedule. Once again, you're going to be observing and looking as a director, how is everything flowing management and administration wise, and not necessarily like the child development and stuff like that. I don't necessarily care about challenging behaviors unless the director had to come in and assist and that type of stuff. That would be the only reason that would be more important. Then the second part, you're going to do the interview. So you're going to design a 10-question interview pertaining to the program. So you need to design these questions ahead of time. Typically what I see happen is you get a little bit scared, nervous, and so having at least 10 questions ahead of time really helps you to keep the flow of the interview going and not wasting that director's time. You don't necessarily have to ask every 10 of those questions, or if she brings up something really interesting, really cool, if you want to ask a question in the moment to follow up on that answer, that would be fine. So if you said, "Hey, what's a normal day like?" and she said, "Oh yeah, I'm in the classroom 50% of the time. In the office 50% of the time I do breaks, and I cook and I teach in the afternoons." And then you can be like, "Oh, wow. Okay. So you have a lot of classroom duties in addition to your management duties." You could say, "How do you juggle all of those different responsibilities and roles that you might have to have?" Right. So, like, maybe you didn't know that she was 50% in the classroom, 50% out doing director stuff. And you might want to ask a follow up question. That would be fine. So you don't have to be rigid in those 10 questions. Those 10 questions are just allowing you to think ahead of time what's important for me to know about this person, and also to allow for the flow of the interview to go really well. So don't be too rigid, but you definitely want to show the person that you prepared. Additionally, you want to dress business casual for the observation, and also for the interview as well, and be appropriately dressed. I also want to know about the questions and answers as well. Also, within the analyze part, what I want you to do is your own respectful, appropriate thoughts on what you learned from the observation, the interview. What did you learn? What was new? What would you change? So you are analyzing. You're being a little bit of you're using a little bit of constructive criticism. This isn't going to go to the person. This just goes to me, and you're being confidential in names. But if you really liked one aspect but you think that one part of the management, like the schedules, maybe everybody was running 5 minutes late. Maybe that would be something that you might change because being prompt in ECE is really, really important. So, your own respectful, kind of appropriate thoughts on how the program is run, how the director does their job, and maybe some of the things that you might change as well. So that is the interview that is due in the very end of this class. Please make sure that you just keep an eye on that. So you do have 8 weeks, but you probably want to start reaching out to people and start getting that in, because then you'll have to do a little write up as well. So being able to start early. Hey, can I interview you? 2 weeks later, going and doing the observation, then maybe a week later on Zoom doing the interview. And then that gives you about 3 weeks to kind of write it up as well. So it will be due in December, the very last week of the class. The very last week of class is December 16th through the 20th, and the final will be due December 18th. So please go ahead and write it on a post it or in your planner or on your phone. Normally, everything is due on Monday, but because the class is done actually on the 20th, and that's when my grades are due, I am asking that the final is due on December 18th. So please write that down, Wednesday, December 18th. The final exam is going to be due. It'll obviously be online because this is an online class. You'll have 3 days to complete it, but you will need to do that by Wednesday, December 18th, so I can grade it and submit the grades by December 20th when they are due. All right, so that is the uh, kind of format. So 8 weeks, each week, new course content, new assignments. Can't be late without prior approval. Make sure that you read the syllabus. Make sure that you log on every week. If you need any support, I have office hours on Mondays and Fridays. You can also email me. I only work Monday through Friday during normal business hours. That's when I will respond, and that's when I have office hours. And then finally, you have a larger assignment due December, which is an interview and an observation. Email me if you have any questions about that, but I have written out all the instructions already. And then very, very final, the final exam is due December 18th, which is a Wednesday, and I will be submitting grades on December 20th. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys more online.